have saved on your desktop, somewhere in your computer, 3 different color schemes for your pop art business card design. So if you haven't done that, that'll be the first thing you have to do. Save JPEGs. You're going to be going into Gravit and you're going to start creating your design for your business card. You're going to do 30 by 30 centimeter usually is what we kind of work with. It's a good size for print. We're going to create that. And if you take a look at graphic design, and I'm going to organize this in a minute, but final business card requirements are here. Hopefully we'll get time to print these off, but the width and the height for this, if you're making a square business card, is 88.9 by 50.8 millimeters. But when I go into Gravit, I make a square. Kind of want something that's going to fill the paper. When I put 88.9 for the width and the height, so I'm working over here, 50.8. It does it in centimeters, so that's way too big. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the decimal over so that it's millimeters. You can do 8.89. You can also do 5.08. And then that gives you this really tiny square. So then you have to do a little bit of math, and what you're going to do is kind of double these numbers. And when you double that, it comes out to 17.78, and I'm going to tab over to 10.16, just doing some quick math here. And then we have a reasonable size square, and this is kind of the standard size for business cards, usually when they're created. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lock this layer. I can't move it. I can't edit on it. It's just a guide for me. And then I'm going to start placing my images. And I got to go into looking for graphic design and pop art. And I want to bring in all 3 of these. Let's see, it won't let me. So we'll just do one at a time. So we got this one, and I'm going to press Shift, hold that down so that we can create a even image. Do that one, meaning, if you don't hold down Shift, you can start to distort it. I don't want to do that. So we want it to be even on all sides, proportionate. Hold down Shift while you resize it. So those I will adjust in a minute. And then we have this other nice version. And I'm going to hold Shift. And I'm going to start creating a pop art design for the back of my business card. When you do this, you can do Command plus zoom in. You want to make sure you're covering your square and you're doing even size changes. So looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing here. And what you want to do is kind of create an interesting design, a pattern that represents, a pop art image. And you can tell on this one, like parts of the lips were cut off. So if you want to do something like that, you can do a design like that. If you want to make different shapes within your business card, that could be an option. You want to have multiple very tiny designs, you can do that. So a couple things that you can be doing. So for your Gravit design, today you're kind of playing around with these shapes, figuring out what works for you. Maybe you want to have one big one and 2 smaller ones. Basically the only rule is that it needs to fit on the business card. So you need to figure out how to do that. I wonder if I can crop this. Oh, I can. So you can also crop these images, hit the crop button, and I can kind of use these blue arrows to move this around. If you move these little red squares, you can actually make them into a circle, which is kind of cool. You can give it some rounded edges, so that could be an option for you. Whoops. I want to move it all. Oh. Make sure when you are moving it around, I think you need the pointer. Yeah, you can move it. So work with the different cropping. I don't want the original size. You know, it could be really interesting to have different, adding circles to your design could be fun. So play around with those things, and yeah, create a nice, interesting pop art inspired design. I'm looking for interesting patterns, interesting design, eye-catching. Make sure your design has repetitive elements, so you can copy and paste. Command C, Command V. I should be seeing multiples of these, so don't be lazy. Create something that pops, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to be working on this for a little bit, and for homework you're going to create 3 different pop art designs for your final. All right, that's it for today.